Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Strange Origins podcast. This is episode 34.
Hey, nice,
We're
nice,
back
nice,
at it again.
nice. Weekly.
Longest commitment of my life. Strange Origins.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first joined it, I was like, it's gonna be fun. Once a week is fine. And then now
Yeah.
it's just like, I got things to do sometimes.
Yeah. It's like, God, leave me alone. Just me
But
asking, can
again,
we start this earlier, please? You're like, nah, 7 p.m. It's like, God damn it, man.
things to do.
Yeah. But no, it's been a weird week, I think, for me and everyone. We're like coming to the end of like COVID, apparently. According to everyone that I speak to, it's like, oh well, COVID's over now. So it's just like it's like okay,
And back to normal.
yeah, couldn't be further from the truth, you know.
Yeah.
Currently a country in Asia burning, you know, like at the moment. Jesus Christ.
I know. Apparently, they had the whole system of like you can hug people now. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
So was it's funny because it got announced. It was like, oh yeah, you can hug people now.
yeah, like it was a fucking like you couldn't do it before.
Yeah,
Like people weren't
like
doing
people,
it.
yeah, like people weren't doing hugging and shit. Like, come on, man.
Exactly. Man. Like,
Um,
how-
was it you could do? I
having
think
line
you
is
can
it.
eat in a restaurant now. Cinemas are gonna open as well. I think.
Yeah, yeah. Cinemas and I think theaters as well is
Yeah,
opening.
yeah. Theaters gonna
Um,
open.
and also I think you can be up to like 30 people now.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Which I'm
Like,
like, why
I don't think I've ever met 30 people outside in my life.
party? I guess.
What's that mean? Like, have you seen the weather? Like,
It's been on and off,
it's been
especially my area.
it's literally raining all week next week. Like Larry, like my friend, contacted me and was like,
Mm.
"Hey, we need to meet up." And I was like, "Yeah, man. Like it's getting nice and sunny now. It's gonna be great." That was fucking like nearly 2 weeks ago, and like it's just been rain and shit and cold like since then. So I was like, "Man, when the weather clears up, we'll meet up." Like
Some point,
outside, like we just can't. I can't go and play football or anything like that. Like, it's just been shit, really. I mean, I should know as well. I've been cycling to work now, and
Wait,
like
how's that going?
it's
Two
it's
weeks.
it's yeah, about 2 weeks now, and it's
Nice.
good. Still tired, but it's one of those things I actually look forward to doing it, and
Yeah.
but when it's pissing down, man, oh my god, it's just
Oh, yeah,
like
how far was
raining.
it?
It's raining so much, like
Yeah.
in London. I haven't got mud guards yet,
Oh
so like everything's just getting soaked. Like my legs are soaked. Like
no.
my,
Do you bring like spare clothes? Like so you wear like your cycling stuff and then you get changed at work?
well, I've got like I obviously got like the black jeans and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
usually I'm alright with that. Like if that's got a bit of mud on it, I don't really mind. Like I'll just wipe it down with a cloth
Mm.
at work. But I also just wear like a leather jacket and a backpack, so
Oh,
I don't really
you
need to bring.
sweating, boy.
Nah, actually, dude, I'm zooming. I'm
Leather-
like,
Leather coat? Holy shit.
yeah, I have a coat. My
Oh.
my internal like cooling system is actually not that bad.
Nah, mine is just you wear like no joke, right? I'd be cycling, I'd be naked and I'm sweating. And I'm like, oh, what? It don't make sense.
I don't know, like my girlfriend keeps saying to me like I'm a furnace, like but I don't like I just exude heat, but I don't feel hot, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah, I think I'm like you on some degrees. Like I would be like warm,
yeah,
and my girlfriend would be cold, and she's like, "Oh, you're a furnace." But then at nighttime,
yeah.
it would be reverse. I
Oh
would be
really?
cold, and she would be like, "This again, this tiny furnace." I'm like, shit, like. So we kind of have our own thing. Like, happening.
For me, I'm just like apparently always hot. Like, like I'm always just warm and but the only thing is my hands and feet get cold sometimes. But so
I get.
my body's just like overworking to keep my body like warm. It's like, dude, I'm
Mm.
fine. Like,
And the things that matter.
yeah. It's I don't know. Like, for me, like temperature's not really been a problem. I used to be really embarrassed about sweating. And I think it comes from like when I was overweight and stuff like that, like really badly overweight and that. So
Yeah.
because you know like if you were sweating at school, you would anyway I would feel embarrassed because I'm like, oh, I'm sweating because I'm fat and everyone's gonna make fun of me and shit like that.
Yeah,
So like
same problem.
yeah, so that's the reason why like I used to get embarrassed about sweating, but now I'm like, fuck it, it's natural. Like
Mhm. For me, I think the one thing that made it different, the reason why I sweat so much is because I knew I was big, right,
yeah,
back then, but I didn't want to accept it in a way, and also I didn't want people to acknowledge it. So what I would do, no joke, right?
yeah,
Summer, I'd be wearing a fucking hoodie.
Oh my god, I used to do
Hoodie
the
and a
same thing.
hoodie and a trackie. And they were like, "Why are you like wearing it? And it's hot." And,
You just
and
like,
I'm like,
I'm
"Yeah,
not, I'm not
I'm
hot.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh, yeah, I'm not hot.
yeah, exactly. I'm fine." And then like sweat trickles down my forehead.
uh, it's literally the same for me. Like I would have loved to have gone out in just a t-shirt and stuff. And even now, like sometimes when I go out and it's summer and I don't have a jacket on, I feel like I'm naked. Like
Exactly right.
I'm
It's
like,
like it's
oh fuck.
same.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and people like I get the look like weirdly like, man. It's just like, why the fuck?
I mean, I've said it to you a couple of times actually when we've met up. Like when we were at like Comic Con and stuff. I'm like, why the fuck are you wearing a hoodie? Like I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like so hot outside.
I was like, nah, man, it's not hot, G.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not hot, man. And I'm like, what?
As I quench water out
Yeah.
somewhere.
Just drink a fucking liter of water, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
But I
Nah.
don't know. It's like, I think for me, like the reason why I did it is because again, it's like I didn't want people to like acknowledge that I'm big.
Yeah. Which is
And
like stupid looking back on it for us because it's just like
Yeah.
they knew it. Like they can see by looking at you that you're big. Like
But dude,
it's one of those things, isn't it?
yeah, but for me, what made it for me, what stamped me the most, like that hurt is like when I was thinking about like last year, year 11
Yeah.
of secondary school, and then we were talking, and then there's this fucking mouthy little shitbag. What? When his mum was like next to him,
Oh,
and he was
God.
like, "Yo," he was like, "Mum, look at this fat boy." I'm like, "What?"
Wow.
And I was like, I just stood there for like 10 seconds. I was like, I just silent. And then the guy that I was talking to,
Yeah.
he's like laughing, and I'm like, oh,
Oh my God.
man, it's just one of those things. So I was like, just play it off, man, play it off,
Yeah.
man. I didn't want to say anything to the kid because his mum was there, and also I would look like the dickhead
Yeah.
for like talking smack to this kid. So I was like, just accept defeat, man. Just accept defeat.
Dude, like it's funny because like, I wish I had the brain that I had now, or I have now, back then.
Oh,
Because
the,
like,
the comebacks, right?
yeah, the
little-
comebacks. You like, I was actually because I've been watching like Invincible like
Yeah.
recently, and one of the lines that the mum says to Mark, like the main guy, like the
Yeah.
child, like because like he's like this. For anyone who hasn't seen it, he's like a superhero kid who's only
Yeah.
just started getting his powers, and then
Great,
like.
great show, by the way.
Yeah, it's really good. And the mum sort of like tells him to go to his room, and he
Yeah.
goes like, "Well, make me," because he's like Superman. He's got like that much power. And her comeback is fucking like it slaughters him. It's just sort of like, does that make you feel like a big man, knowing that I can't physically like make you go up to your room? Does that make you feel good? And I was like, oh, that's exactly what you should have said to that guy. It's like, does that make you feel good? Yeah, I'm fat. Does that make you feel really happy? Does that fulfill you in your life?
Like legit, I wish I had like if I could. That's the one thing I would do if I was doing a time travel, right?
Yeah.
I would just be like, yo, just be like be on a different level. Just do like a comeback. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. Just make a comeback. Anything. Just protect yourself, man.
It'd be so
You
funny.
know?
Like, you time travel back like 10 years. Like you say something back to them, and then they come back with a better comeback, and you go, oh shit. Like you come back again in like another 10 years, and you're like, all right, I got to come back to your comeback. Like it's just an endless cycle, man. I don't know. Like I think like that those kind of situations are things that people like play in their head like so much. And I'm like, I should have said this, man.
Yeah.
Like, this should have been the one. Like.
Yeah, I think I've definitely done that a few times in my life. Like,
has it been the opposite? Has it ever worked out like where you did say the right thing and they were like put down? Because that's no.
No. Because I play in my head, right? If I say it, I don't even think it's like even if I say it,
Yeah.
they'll just take a better comeback.
Okay.
And I'm just like, I'm just gonna be like there left, like gobsmacked, like I shouldn't have said that.
Oh,
Why the
right.
fuck did I say that? He just made it worse for me. So it's like,
That's like I don't know. Like, do you like get like quite angry with that sort of stuff, or do you just like bottle it up?
I think when I was like secondary school, I definitely was a bit more heated. I definitely got like angrier because again, as a kid, like you have this kind of like sort of status, like you don't want anyone messing with you, right?
Yeah.
And if you let one kid mess with you, then you naturally just be like, oh, the entire fucking civilization would like turn on you or some shit.
That's what I'm saying. It's literally like a prison.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the first like sort of advice I got from my oldest brother like was like go in there and beat up the biggest kid and they will respect you. Now I'm older, I know that came from a fucking prison like TV show or something or film, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, like it's true though. If you do let someone pick on you, like in school, it's gonna keep happening.
Yeah,
Like you have to put a
but
stop to it early.
yeah, but I think for me it stopped because, again, I was as an Asian kid, I grew,
Yeah.
so I became tall, and also like my weight.
Telling you,
Not like say that.
I'm telling you, you're not Asian, man. Like I've never met an Asian that's over 6 foot tall, and somehow you're over 6 foot. It's bullshit. You fucking Norwegian looking piece of shit.
But yeah, luckily I had that to play with, right? And also because I just grew, but then didn't lose weight, so I
Yeah,
was like going big, and because I was like, tall,
yeah,
so when you're a bit fat, I guess like it doesn't seem because you're tall,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? So I just played on that, and I was like, "What you gonna do?" I would tower over there. What you gonna do? And you just started and just walk off. I'm like, "Yeah, shut the fuck up,
Oh
bitch."
shit. Like I think for me, like because I tried to go the right, I guess, like air quotations, the right way, because I got like
Mm,
picked on one time, and I tried to go the right way by going to the teachers, like telling my mom and that, and
yeah.
she went to the teachers and spoke to them, and like they did fuck all.
Oh, they
Like
don't,
they
dude.
literally they came up to me like 2 weeks later after they'd done their stupid investigations and shit, and goes,
Yeah.
well, this kid, he he's really troubled, and he's had a lot of troubles with his mum. Like his mum's ill, and all that. I was like, I don't give a fuck about his backstory. Like,
Exactly.
why the fuck are you telling me that? And they were like, that's the reason why he's doing it. I don't need a reason. I need you
You're
to
telling
stop
me.
him.
Yeah. So you're telling me I could just go punch a teacher,
Yeah.
right? And just be like, "Yeah, sorry, I hope I've been having a lot of trouble, man. Issue," and I'm just gonna get away with it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I know. Like
Like,
it's like that's the sort of thing that pisses me off the most. And it's just like
mm,
when it happened again, instead I just hit him, and that
yeah,
stopped it.
yeah.
Like that, and there was like they did this thing where it was me and him. This
Mm,
was my tutor group, and they sort of like gathered round, and they were like, "All right, you guys are gonna have like an insult match, like a slagging match sort of thing, and whoever
mm,
wins, will whatever. I don't know what I did, but like I literally the way it worked, like I just cussed him like twice, and
yeah.
he never came back with anything, any comeback, and that was it. He was done. And I was like, wow, you were like the shit. He's one of those guys that had just had no brain.
So
Like,
it's just basically like a brute force bully.
yeah, and it didn't work. And then after I hit him, and after we had that little slanging match, he just left me alone.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "I'll just shut up, man." Like to him, and I was like, "Cool." He lost all respect.
Nah, for me it was like that. Mine was just like my height and weight, just intimidate people just from a distance. For
From a
some
distance.
reason, so I didn't even bother. But yeah, I mostly got picked on by fucking older kids anyway who were like 6 foot
Oh Jesus,
something.
man.
But I couldn't do anything then.
Luckily for me, like I think one of the times where rushing when people were rushing everyone.
Oh no,
Like
yeah.
I was just like, "Nah, man, I got asthma." And they were like, "Oh shit, man, he's got asthma. He's got asthma." Like, because no one wanted a murder on their hands, man. Like, I just died from an asthma attack, and they're like, "Oh fuck."
It's murder on your conscious, bitch.
Yeah. God damn, those are some weird fucking times. But like, definitely like like, because I think you've seen all of Invincible, right?
Mm.
Yeah, you've
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
all.
definitely.
Definitely, like anyone listening, like if they haven't seen it, like I'm only on the 4th episode, but it's already like really good. Because I got
Mm.
recommended it from everybody. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Shat recommended me. You recommended it to me. Like, even people like on YouTube that I was watching were recommending it to me, and I was like, for fuck's sake, fine. Like, or not to me, obviously to the audience. And I was just like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, like let me just watch this before it gets to that point where people are recommending it to me too much, and I get bored of it. Like,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
that happens, it's just like where people are like, "You need to watch this program." I'm like, do you know what? I'm not gonna watch it now. like fuck off.
Yeah, but didn't you say like the reason why is always because like that meme, right? That thing.
Yeah, what is it like? Was it
Yeah,
think
the
mark? Like,
think mark.
I'm like, God damn it! Like, I haven't even got to that point yet in the show, but I'll find out where that meme comes from. Like,
Yeah.
but that was everywhere. But that also goes to show, like, because I was like slyly thinking maybe that was an advertising campaign to get people to watch it. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like, it could also be because the show is so good that people liked it so much they made a meme out of it.
Yeah.
They're just as likely in both situations, honestly.
Plus, it's like one of those like it's just like the perfect still capture. Just like you can literally add anything to it.
Yeah, yeah. Like
It's
that and the boys, like it's that kind of like, because Marvel is like, the fairy tale
Yeah.
superhero where it's like,
Yeah.
you don't really see too much violence. You still see violence and stuff like that, but you don't see like the real world sort of stuff. Whereas Invincible and The Boys are sort of like, hey, what if they literally just punched your head off?
Yeah.
Like, or the guy who cheats on his girlfriend with a girl who can clone herself and has a threesome with her. And I'm like, stuff like that. Like, you know?
It makes it real, even though it's
Yeah.
2D. It's so relatable. Like these Superman or whatever they are, they're not all that.
Yeah.
I think what people tend to think is like, because these guys, when it does happen, they're like this they're like existential being or some shit, right? That
Yeah.
they don't do anything. They're perfect.
Yeah.
But it's like this is like The Boys, especially this one. It's like
What if they're not?
they're people with powers, and they're still. I think they're still people at the end of the day.
Yeah. Like, just
And
because you got powers doesn't make you a hero, sort of thing.
exactly. I mean, there's a character in The Boys, the Catholic dude.
Oh.
That man's a fucking.
Yeah.
He's like a rapist or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
And he's preaching about God.
that's the thing. Like, that's why I liked Injustice storylines so much. Because Injustice, like, literally just told the story of, like, what if Superman just turned evil? Like, and I'm like, yeah, the world would be fucked. Like, nobody would be able to stop him. Like, even Batman, like, everyone likes to say, oh yeah, he's got a plan for everything, and he's got this and that and that and that and that. But
he would get
but
immediately.
literally, if fucking like Superman just suddenly turned like, you know, bad in that second, he could go to Batman and snap his neck. Like, it would be over. So like, as much as like I do like to have the argument of like, oh, Batman would always be prepared for this stuff, and maybe he would see Superman like turning evil just there and then and there, like, and all that stuff. Like, it's a lot of what ifs. Whereas Superman is just like, no, he'll kill you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Again, example in last episode 1 of Invincible, there's a Batman character there.
Oh yeah.
And he just fucking legit just flinged him around.
Yeah. So it's really like, obviously, like they have like a lot of like different like stories in that show, and like and like one of them, what was really cool is just like, you know what the argument of like, why don't they just throw the villain up into space? And one of the characters does do that to one of the other side characters. It's just like, well, when in doubt, just throw him into space. And I'm like, well, exactly. Why did no one ever do that? Like, I'm just sitting there like, every fucking like supervillain could be stopped if you just dashed them into space.
Yep,
yeah.
That's it.
But yeah, it's definitely worth watching. Like, I'll definitely recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it.
But it's also a great cast.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of like really famous voice. I guess they're actors, but they're doing voices for this because obviously it's animated. But they got like so many people in there that I was just like, oh shit, I know that voice from somewhere. Like, and if you do watch it like on Amazon, like they've got this X-ray feature where you can pause it and you can see exactly who does the voice actors that they tell you. It's really, really cool.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Amazon Prime. Yeah, subscribe. And you can get a chance to win Amazon Prime. Maybe in 5 years.
5 years.
No, but how's your week been? I've been sitting around like watching TV shows, and then while I have a day off from work. What about you?
I've just been kind of again working on the portfolio. I'm pretty sure I showed you one just now. What I'm working on.
I saw it. It looks sick.
Thanks. I've just been doing that for like 2 weeks, and then just watching TV shows and like talking to my fiance about like the whole Mandela effect thing.
See,
right?
yeah, you spoke to me about Mandela effect. Like,
yeah,
the Mandela effect, like, it's when a group of people collectively think that something happened, and then when you actually look at history, it didn't happen. That's what the Mandela effect is.
And like, yeah, I was kind of bugged out because like before I was like, oh, it's just a saying.
Yeah.
But then like the more like my fiance explained it to me, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because she remembers certain things, like, you know, like Looney Tunes apparently it was spelled different, and I'm like, it's always been spelled the same. But she remembers it. Like, there's like no e at the end, but there is an e at the end.
Yeah, it's like there's like different like there's one that's like really, really famous. Like I mean, obviously it's named after Nelson Mandela thing.
Yeah.
But what is it? There's one that's like specifically like everyone remembers it different. I think it's like the Monopoly guy. Like the guy on the front of the Monopoly logo like doesn't have a monocle. But everyone remembers him having a monocle.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you know the guy with the top hat and the mustache and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't in every single logo there's ever been of Monopoly, he doesn't have a monocle.
What the?
But like, but everyone's like, what? Like, no, I remember him having it. That's bullshit. but it's not. It's literally and then people they theorize that the reason why is like they're getting it confused with the KP nut, well not KP, but the nut character, you know, on the top hat, the peanut thing. There's a peanut logo with a top hat and a monocle, but I that sounds like an American thing. Like in England, we didn't have that character, so why did we think it had a monocle?
Pringles.
The Pringles guy doesn't have a monocle.
Yeah, he does. I swear he had.
I don't think he does, man.
No, I swear.
Does he?
Pringles.
Like, he's googling it now. He needs to find out. He has to find out.
He fucking had one, man.
He doesn't have a monocle, dude.
He had.
No, I'm looking at it now. There's no monocle.
I swear he did.
Did you see what I mean? Like, everyone, like, so where did that come from?
Oh, that's so weird.
Do you want to hear a weird, like, theory about the Mandela effect?
Go on.
It's apparently, like, one of the theories is it's proof that parallel universes exist. and the world has switched between a parallel universe, like, because of that.
Oh shit!
Because everyone believes that one thing happened, and when you would look back, it's like, oh no, that never happened. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
like my first was telling me this theory that she had, right? Remember that time when they turned on like the black hole machine in 2012?
Yeah. What, the Large Hadron Collider?
Yeah, apparently that was when things started fucking off. Like it started, like things started happening, like with this one, like with the whole monocle thing.
But the Mandela effect has happened like for years, so.
Like, was it before that?
Yeah, because I think the original like effect, or at least what the people thought was the effect, was it. I think Nelson Mandela was like
died in prison.
Yeah, or something like that. Was it? Is it died in prison?
Yeah, he died in prison, and he never became the president.
Oh shit! Is it that fucking far?
I think so.
It's like the shared memory. It says here, the 2010, this shared false memory phenomenon was the Mandela effect. Apparently 2010. Yeah, it's anti-apartheid leader Nelson Mandela in prison 1980s. He actually died in 2013.
Yeah, but people said
people
died
thought
in
he
prison.
died. Yeah, people thought he died in 1980s.
Oh my god!
And it's just like, nah, dude was still alive. Like,
yeah, Jesus.
But that must have been happening before, because I knew, like, or at least me personally, I knew Mandela was still alive around that time.
No, see, my fiance, she moved to different schools, right? They all taught the same. Actually, one of them, no, yeah, they were all taught the same. They all taught her that he like died in prison, but then.
So do you think it's a teaching thing? Maybe do you think that's where it came from, rather than everyone remembering it wrong?
If in this case, because it's historic, yes. But what about like the other phenomena, like me?
Yeah,
remembering that. So it's like maybe
it's
unless
like,
the school was racist and then like
the clickbait, like the racist title we put in. Like,
but yeah,
there was another one actually that I remember, because I remember watching a video about all the Mandela effects like that has been. It's like one of them. You know the song by Queen, like "We Are the Champions."
Yeah.
And you know, it's like it does that long one where it's like "We are the champions," and then it says "of the world." That part at the end, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, he never says "of the world." That doesn't happen. Like, it's just the song ends, goes "We are the champions," and then stops. And everyone's like, "What?" Like, I remember them saying like "of the world," but if you go back and listen to the record, he doesn't say it. He says it like halfway through the song. Doesn't say
maybe that's why.
No, but everyone remembers it at the end, and he doesn't sing it at the end. And like,
what the?
It's so fucking weird. Like, one theory is that at Wembley he did it once, but why would everyone in the world remember it that way? It's just like such weird, like, little events like that.
That's very strange.
Yeah, like, actually, it's changing the subject slightly, but I wanted to bring up this other thing. Like, Mum was watching these like old films. I don't know if you've heard like Carry On. Have you heard of Carry On films?
No.
Okay, so they're like old British films, Pinewood studio films, like really old ones. Like, they went from black and white and then into color.
Oh shit!
And they were like comedies, right? So they were like, they would be like Carry On Camping, Carry On Loving, and all this stuff. Like, they would do like little like stories, right? But it was very like 60s, you know, comedy
humor.
So I still find it funny to this day. But a lot of the joke, or at least some of the jokes, were quite like sexist, or at least what you would call sexist now,
Yeah.
right? Um, so like some of the it's a lot of innuendos. It's a lot of like there was one specifically I can remember, right? Just to give you a taste of what it is. Like they're
Oh
holding
no.
camping equipment, and that she's holding camping equipment. There's two like little needles like sticking out the front, and she
Yeah.
goes, and they're like, oh, I don't know how to do this camping thing. So, oh, what about what? Like she goes, what about these two needles in front, or these two things sticking out in front of me? And he goes, yeah, what about them? Right? Talking about her tits and that sort of stuff. Like that's it's an innuendo like that,
Oh,
right? So it's funny, like old humor like that, right?
right. Yeah.
But my mum then makes a comment like, "Oh, like, you know, see, this wouldn't be allowed nowadays." And I was like, "Are you mad?" Like, I disagree completely. Like, have you not seen South Park, Family Guy, like
South Park Family Guy.
American Dad,
Yeah.
like all these programs where like that sort of stuff is the joke. They make joke about everything, like ranging from like racism, homophobia, like transgenders, everything.
Mm.
So that
But
stuff is done nowadays all the time.
But is that like the whole point of the show though? Is just to take the piss out of literally everything? As for like what your mum was watching, it's like sort of like a joke every now and then, like you know?
So what's like the difference? Like, because she was like, oh, you like it's literally a comedy, so it's riddled with these jokes. Like,
Mm.
and that's the point of it. They're jokes, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
but I think now it's like you have TV shows like South Park, who I think in my opinion was like made to just insult anything and everything,
yeah,
like you know. So it's like again, it's two different things where like the one's like a slight joke every now and then, like a little jab, but
it's
this
not so
like
much
South
as
Park.
I don't know. Like if you
Mm.
watch the films, they're not really like a slight joke every now and then. Like every other sentence is like an innuendo in carry on films.
Okay.
Like that's kind of like the point, especially with one character like in those films. Like he's always talking about like sexual innuendos. Like
See,
I just don't think I just don't think a statement like oh it wouldn't those films would never be able to be made now is true
mm.
because while yes we've become more of a you know that sort of like what do they call it? It's like not P is P something personal was it? I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember.
Yeah, you know what like P is PT or something? I don't know what it's called. But like where everyone's meant to be like aware of everyone's like situations and you know
See,
calling the pronouns and all that stuff and genderism and homophobia and stuff like that, right?
mm.
Like yes, we've become more of a society like that where you need to be like that because that's the right way to act. That doesn't mean people can't make jokes.
Yeah,
Like there are
Ye-
many comedians
yep.
out there that make jokes about that all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
so and it's just the
We-
way you deliver it and the way you do it is what makes it funny. Like there has to be a good delivery and it has to be done in good taste. It can't be just being like saying like I am gonna
The
make
what?
this joke just for the sake of saying it.
See,
You know,
see.
and I think that's
Okay.
what
Yeah,
there are a lot of like, or at least a handful of like black comedians that get accused of this as well, or female comedians as well that get accused of this as just being like using their gender or their race as the joke all the time, and they've got no other material.
yeah.
So
It's like
there's a way of doing
okay.
it, you know.
Yeah, with having more substance, basically.
Yeah,
I mean, it is true though, because I have seen like in some black comedians would they would literally play on their race, even some Asian comedians,
yeah,
honestly.
and I get that
And
because
it's
like that's what they've experienced in their life. Like it makes sense,
yeah,
right? But
yeah,
and not to say that they have no substance because they do. They're funny jokes and stuff like that. But there's a way of telling them, you know.
Mm,
Like, and if you hear one
exactly.
joke that's kind of similar, then you go, "Oh shit!" By the way, PC is what I was thinking of. Like that. That's the PC politically correct.
Ah, okay,
That's
okay.
what I meant to say. But yeah, it's like that thing. I just think that those films are less common now. It doesn't mean that they could never be made. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
you're gonna have
Have you-
like certain because it's not always gonna be the certain stereotypes where the woman stays at home. And I think that's what needs to be normalized. Is like parts where like you go into you watch a TV show and it could be a stay-at-home guy like dad.
Yeah, so
You know?
it's just like the opposite. Like, I think I was watching this anime, a short anime from Amazon. I mean, from Netflix.
Yeah.
So it's basically like the whole thing revolves around this guy, this yakuza guy, right?
Yeah.
And then he meets a woman, but she's like successful in life, and he's just basically a stay-at-home guy.
Yeah.
and it kind of plays in like that, and it's like he's this stereotypical, like, he cleans, he cooks, he does everything,
Yeah.
and like I think it works because it's the opposite.
Yeah,
It's something
like
different.
that's what I
Like,
liked. Like to use an example from something I'm watching now, Invincible, right? The child, like I say child, he's like 18, but his one of his best friends who gives him advice about relationships and stuff like that is a gay guy, like,
yeah,
which I love because like the usual trope is a guy and he's got a girl like who's a friend who
yeah,
gives him advice about girls who sometimes secretly fancies him as well or something like that. And it's such a
yes, it's very
boring trope.
ironic.
It happens all the time. But this
See,
this was
see,
completely
see.
different. And the gay guy like in that was sort of like, oh right, yeah, got to talk about straight things, like taking the piss out of him, saying like, because
Yeah.
that's the only thing you're interested in. I think that's fucking jokes. Like, and that's something
Mm.
that wasn't a tired like TV trope that I've seen all the time.
See, 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 see,
I thought it
see.
was sick. So like, I need more of that. Like that's fucking funny. Because that
Yeah,
guy
because
was
it's like
jokes.
yeah. Oh, but if you see him on the hand, man, like, it gets better.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, and he was giving him advice, saying like, "Oh, you need to clean this. You need to clean that. You know, like
Yes,
you should be wearing this. Like, that. Why are we not having more of that? Like, why does it always have to be a girl giving like fashion advice or like, you know?
yeah. I think what it is, it's like the opposite. It's like when a female has a gay, like a guy gay friend,
Yeah.
kind of like that. But like this one's is reverse, obviously.
Because like I think I was talking about this with like Ishak before as well, and
Mm.
it comes under the same vein of like
Yeah,
every time you see a gay guy in a TV show, they always and they're friends with a guy in high school.
yeah.
It's always they always touch upon, oh, what if he thinks I fancy him, you know? It's
Ah,
always
yeah,
the
yeah.
same
That's that.
storyline. Or for another example, what we were talking about is like what like every single time there's a black person on screen, like in films, it's always like they're um, they're being treated or they're being discriminated against. Like, where are the films about a black guy or a black girl just being somebody who's powerful or somebody who's not always looked down on or anything like that? Like, the film always revolves around that rather than just who or what they're doing.
Yeah, but I think the problem with that is and I don't know if it's just me, but I think people will like be like, oh, he's trying to be too white,
Yeah,
or it's like the thing, and it's like, well, if that's
I
how you
hate that
think, then
argument so much.
yeah, and it's like if your mentality is that, like the black person has to be a stereotypical,
Yeah.
then your whole fucking mindset is just wrong.
Yeah, because
'Cause-
like what Ishat was saying, like he's getting, like he would love to see a film where it's not just about, like when a black person is the main character, it's not just
yeah,
about him trying to fight race discrimination or something like that. Like it
mm,
would be great just to see him as like a person, or her as a
mm.
person, or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
See,
Like it'd be great to see that, like, and it would be great to not always see like the same argument. Like when a gay person's on screen, it's like, okay, now that we know exactly where the story's gonna go, you know.
yeah, it's been done so many times.
There's so much more to a black person, like homosexual and Asian person, all that stuff than just their race or their sexual preference. And it annoys me so much they do it in films and TV show, which
Yep.
is why I like this one because they didn't even delve into that. Like they didn't say about him fancying the guy or anything like that. It was completely different, and that was so
Yeah.
refreshing. Yeah. Anyway, that was just my little rant about that.
No, I completely understand because again, it's happened in big films before. So
I mean, yeah. What is it that people say?
mainstream.
Fucking like Russians are always the bad guys. You
Yep,
know.
and America was a good guy.
Yeah, America's always a good guy. Arabs are always, always, always a terrorist.
Paris.
And it's just
Yeah.
like, can we stop doing this now?
And
Like,
Asian person's always like the tech
yeah,
or
the
like
tech
yeah,
nerd. Like,
math,
yeah,
all this
it's
other
like
shit.
Germans are also like the engineering ones or the bad guys,
Yeah,
the mechanics. Like, it's just like, do we really need to do this every fucking time? Like,
yeah, but I don't know if it's been like ingrained in us as a kid, you know, because
mm,
back then they would do it as like as how that's how it's like how they portrayed it. If that
yeah.
makes sense, like
That's
because
crazy
back in the day,
propaganda though. Like that
yeah,
All
exactly.
Russians are
That's
just fucking evil.
yeah, that was the word I was looking for. Sorry,
Yeah,
propaganda. Yeah,
yeah.
and then that kind of went over like other races, you know, and they started
Hmm.
picking like what traits they have, and then put in the film, and then over the years, it became like a norm.
It's like
Like
how like most Americans either think that English people like speak really really like good English or posh, or
yes,
or they speak really Cockney. Like,
Yeah,
you're
because
right,
there's no.
love, all that stuff. It's like, no, we're
Yeah.
not all like that. Like, there's an in between. Trust me. Like, in fact, there's so many different accents in England. It's ridiculous.
Come to the UK. If anyone is listening to it and you're trying to like cast a British person, please do not go for like your stereotypical, like high society, mighty queen, royal,
Yeah,
or like a
or
chavvy.
Vinnie Jones, fucking like, just like, all right, mate, all that East London.
Exactly.
It's like,
That's
it's
just East
always
London.
those two. It's always those two. It's never anything else. Like,
Hmm.
Jesus Christ. But we're about out of time. It's 35 minutes now.
Oh damn. Damn.
But it's been a fun one. I don't know what
Yep.
the clickbait title will be, but I'll think about it.
Racist.
Yeah, just racist stories again. But yeah, leave a comment and like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you're new. It does help with the algorithm, and anyone you're watching, if you do it to their videos, like their stuff, it does definitely help them out.
We
But
just need the one more. 30,
yeah,
30 subscribers.
at this point, I'm like, do you know what? It'll come one day. Like, we've been asking for like a month now, but yeah, like we'll be back again next week, and definitely, I think next week we're definitely gonna be speaking about Love Death Robot, which comes out, well, for us, it comes out tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
But we're obviously not gonna spoil anything, but we will be talking about that show as well. So
Mm.
can't wait. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.